Hello again, I'm Senator Chris Marr from Spokane's 6th Legislative District, and welcome again to my legislative update. This week I'd like to talk to you about the state's transportation budget, which is really a good news, bad news story. First, the bad news. State transportation revenues are projected to fall $3 billion short of expectations over the next 16 years, and there is no money for new projects beyond 2015. That's going to make it difficult to complete all the projects from the gas tax package approved by the legislature in 2003 and the separate gas tax package approved by the legislature and reaffirmed by the voters in 2005. Last week, the Senate announced its proposed transportation budget for the next 2 years, and absent from that were 31 previously approved projects for which funding is not expected to be available with existing tax revenues. Now, why is this happening? Well, rest assured it has nothing to do with government inefficiency, as is often suggested. The bottom line is people aren't buying as much gas as was expected earlier this decade, thanks in part to the economic recession, volatile gas prices, and changes in consumer habits to utilize mass transit and other alternatives. And when people don't buy gas, they don't pay gas taxes. This is going to be a continuing challenge, particularly as consumers increasingly turn to electric cars or vehicles that run on other fuels that aren't taxed. But here's the good news. In prioritizing the projects we fund, Senate leaders chose to focus on mega projects and projects that will become immediately usable once they're finished. This has been particularly beneficial for Spokane. The Senate's plan includes $38 million for environmental documentation and to purchase right-of-way for the north-south corridor in Spokane. This is part of a phase we call the 6-year solution. If funded, the corridor will stretch from Wandermere all the way to the Spokane River in 2015, saving motorists an average of 20 minutes in commute time. As Vice Chair of the Senate Transportation Committee, I was able to get the extra funding into the budget, largely due to efforts over the last year to cut costs for this phase in half. The Senate plan also includes $250,000 for improving the very dangerous Highway 195 intersection with Cheney-Spokane Road. That's enough to add a right turn lane for vehicles exiting the highway, greatly improving visibility for motorists trying to turn onto it. Getting money for these projects in the final transportation budget would represent a major victory for Spokane. I'll be pressing for both as we enter the legislative session's final month. In the meantime, feel free to share your thoughts by calling my office or sending me an email, and I'll see you again next week for another update.